What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Happy February 24th. My name is Jay Gagan, and thank you for tuning in to the Jay Gagan Show. We have a special guest that is going to be joining us, a fellow YouTuber in the space. He goes by the name of Rodney, aka My Crypto Journey. We're going to be bringing him in just a second, but a very, very strange day in the crypto space. Obviously, last night, Russia decided to invade Ukraine. It happened around 7 or 8 p.m. our time. And obviously that had a huge impact on crypto, but it really made me realize that there's things that are bigger than crypto, right? You know, a war, a massive country like Russia invading Ukraine. I think it caused a lot of us to take a step back and really unite. And that's why I'm really looking forward to bringing on Rodney today, because we're going to unite. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk a lot about cryptos, Saitama, Lilly, and also Ukraine. But as always, over 100 people are in the stream. Let me see who is all here today with us today. We got Steve the Canadian. We have Randolph Christina's here. Steve Jones. Shout out to Steve Jones. We were having some fun last night in the stream. President Shill is on as well. Heavyweight Hank Deej is here. Nick J, M. Henry, and so much more. But the thing is, guys, 110 people, 32 likes on YouTube. We got to show our guy Rodney some love. If you're excited to have Rodney on the stream tonight, do us a favor. Let's smash that like button, and we're going to be bringing him in here when we get to 50 likes. Shout out to Steve Jones. He's laughing about that. We did have some fun in here. Compilation guy is here as well, and Ham Miranda said, clickety, the like button. I like that. We're at 50 likes, so without further ado, put your hands together. Let's bring in our guy, My Crypto Journey, a.k.a. Rodney. Rodney, how are we doing today?
What's up, Jake G? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Of course, man. I was on your stream last week, I believe, and I had a phenomenal time. So I told you after that, I was like, look, we got to get you on our channel, and I'm happy to have you here today.
Hell yeah, man. Kicking more shit than Bruce Lee. First of all, dude, the intro. Do I need an intro now? Because that was some real energy right there.
Dude, so shout out to Matt Mortier. He's one of the TARP devs. He set me up with the sound, like how the sound is so crispy, and I don't have to curse now. I can just say mother, because my mom watches the stream. That's all Matt Mortier, as well as the intro is Matt Mortier too. He killed it though, right?
Jesus, yeah. I thought it was like that seemed like a Fiverr job, like a real good job.
Yeah, he's raw. That's his background is like sound. Like, and if you watch Matt Mortier's his content, man, like, dude, I don't know if you've seen his backdrop, and shout out to my guy Alonzo for setting up my backdrop. It looks amazing. But Matt Mortier's is like built out of wood with lights in it and shit. It's like he's next level. But yeah, he made that up, man, for free. He just sent it to me one day. And he's like, here you go, Jake. Like, this is for you. And I was like, dude, this is like the dopest intro I've ever seen.
What the hell, Matt? What? Matt.
Matt,
you know,
you see this guy over here? Matt, he's probably watching right now. He's like, he'll probably throw something together. Now he's the man. But I think one of the reasons, and I think it's good to start here. Like, when I first heard your name, it came up and it was like, this guy's fudding Saitama. This guy is fudding 100%. fudding Saitama. And for me, I was like, hey, let me watch some content, right? And I was watching your live streams, and I was like, he's really not fudding Saitama. Like, I feel like, I mean, I'm sure you have said stuff. I haven't consumed every second of your content, but it's like, when I was tuning into streams, for the most part, you were speaking highly of it. Like, you were optimistic about it. I think what you were doing was you were just calling shit for what it was. You were saying, hey, there's a lot of YouTubers, and I think I was probably one of them, that are just hyping this up, hyping this thing up. And you were kind of calling red flags. And I talked to you offline about that, and I said, hey, man, I appreciate that, because when I watch the news, which is, not that often, like, I like to look at both sides of the story. Like, if I were to watch the news, I'd probably watch CNN for a little bit, and I would probably watch Fox News for a little bit. So I get both sides of the stories. But I see that happening now more than ever, right? And I saw it in LA when I was talking to people about Joe Rogan. And they go, they're like, you probably listen to Joe Rogan podcast. I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, he's a racist. I'm like, no, he's not. Like, you're taking like sound bites and what other people are saying, and then you're forming your own opinion. But I wanted to start there because I think that was a reputation you had. I don't know if you still have it, but I was watching your content and I was like, he holds Saitama. He's optimistic. He's kind of just calling things as it is. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man? I guess you have had that reputation of being a Saitama fudder, but when you actually tune into your content, like, for the most part, you speak highly of the project, and it's not like you're constantly fudding it, but you are calling things for how you see them.
Yeah, first of all, I get paid to FUD Saitama, so I take my job. I'm sorry, no, I don't. That's a common misconception. Like, this guy gets paid to FUD. First of all, who's paying me to fight Saitama? Okay. So it's crazy. I think a lot of people who have that kind of misconception don't really watch my content. And if you watch my content, if you watch my content in the past, you understand that I'm really rooting for the project. I just think they do a lot of stupid things, and I feel like I have to call them out for that. And I feel like it's good to have a contrarian point of view, especially in our space. Like you said, diversify your content. You know, you don't have to just watch me. You don't have to just watch you. Go around the horn, get a little bit of knowledge from everyone. And that's how I treat it. You know, like I started watching your content. I watch other people's content. So just really diversify. But yeah, people are crazy. I mean, a lot of people that say those things don't watch my content, right? And a lot of my people that watch my channel or follow my channel are Saitama holders. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, I like, because that was the first, like, and you probably can relate to that, right? Like that was the first thing I heard. This guy's a Saitama fighter. I watched your live stream. I was like, he's not even talking about, like, I don't even think you mentioned Saitama in the whole entire live stream. Like you were talking about other projects and like when you did speak about it, you were positive. But I will give you this, man. I have to give credit where credit's due. It's like I do this live stream stuff. We talk about crypto. I try to make it fun. I try to make it exciting. And I'll tune in your stream, like I'll laugh. Like, and I've put like people on your stream, like my brother and my homie Alonzo, and it's like they all agree. They're like, this guy's super funny. So I think you're bringing something interesting to the space. And I said this on your live stream. I was like, I love your niche. It's like you're like doing the breaking news of what's happening in the DeFi space, and it's like it's important because it's a huge market. And I think you have definitely found your niche today in what you're doing with your content.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's kind of funny, you know. I just want to make people laugh a little bit. And life is not so serious, guys. You know, you can't be such a hard ass, you know. Sorry for the cursing. I don't want to get you demonetized. Actually, I think it won't really. Thank you. Keep just doing that. I'll put a thumbs up. All right, ready?
I'm so sick and tired of this. Oh, like you got to be so careful on YouTube. You can't even curse.
It's crazy. Actually, YouTube doesn't mind if you curse. It just can't be crazy. But yeah, just laugh, guys. Just stop being such a hard ass. You know, like just laugh a little bit. Life's not so serious. Let's have some fun here. And at the end of the day, doesn't matter what one guy on the internet says. If you're confident in your project, you believe in it, you see the clear vision, you've done your research, and they have and if they have a good product, doesn't matter what I say. It's going to go to the moon. So just remember that. And
I think I've heard you say that too. And it's a valid point. It's a valid point. It's like, hey, I'm sure there are probably hundreds of people that are out there talking shit about Apple or Tesla or Microsoft or Amazon. Like it's just part of it. And I think I told you this. It's like as a project grows, like when Saitama first started out, like there was 5,000 holders, everybody was bullish. But as you get to 100, 200, 300,000 holders, like you're gonna have that opposite side come in. And I think it's healthy because it's like whether it's 100%. Saitama, 𝗪𝗎, Lilly Finance, it's like they'll call things as they see them, and they might not be true. And Rodney, you might always not be right? Like you might not be right about 100%. Everything you say. I'm sure you'll own up to it if you're not. But I think regardless, like, dude, we're in a space where like a lot of these projects, devs can do some shady shit. Like I've seen some shady shit happen with top wallets and deployer wallets and stuff like that. So I welcome people
sorry.
And that was something that was called, right? Like people were calling them on that, and it brings it to awareness. But if you just have people saying 𝗪𝗎 to the moon, Saitama to the moon, Lilly to the moon, it's like you're gonna miss some of the stuff that happens. And I think like having that flip side that we're kind of seeing, like you, Sandstorm, other people, is bringing more accountability into the space.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'm just joking about the 𝗪𝗎 thing. We know why it's happening, but it's still shady to me. But I know why it's happening. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's just a different point of view, and they can take it, right? They're big boys. It's just mostly except for, I don't want to mention Elon Manser can't really take it, but Saitama Guru seems to be able to take it. Like they can take the heat. Yeah. They can take all the heat coming at them. They're big boys, right? But it's the people in the community that are so crazy and safeguarding their investment.
Yeah, but I get it. Like, and like, I get it. It's like, dude, if you're investing in a project and someone's like, fudding on it or tearing it down or calling shit how it is, like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, I would be like, yo, you're hurting my bag. But at the end of the day, like, what's more important, your bag short term or more transparency and accountability long term? And I think that can be applied to any project that we're talking about. Like, it's 100%. I think it's good for the space, man, because like I said, I've been doing this for like this content stuff for a year, and I've worked with a ton of projects and been following and tracking wallets for a ton of projects. And there's a lot of shady shit that goes on that holders 100%. Don't know about, that if they did know about, they would probably run away as far as they can from that project. So that's why I personally welcome this side of the space that you guys are bringing, because it's bringing more accountability. And like devs are being a lot more careful than what they were previously.
100%. It's actually pretty insane. The level of transparency that we're getting, which is good. Overall, it's good,
Yep, we need it. Now let's talk about something that's top of mind. Last night, Russia decided to invade Ukraine, and obviously the crypto market crashed, but I think it's bigger than that. Like it's bigger than for me. There's things that are bigger than crypto, and like, look, I'm in America, I'm in California. I know you are as well. And like this hit me hard, right? Like we're not even involved in the war, and you're former military, right? I believe former or
current,
still current.
Yeah,
current. Sorry about that.
Yep,
Still current military, but like, man, like when Russia invades Ukraine, it shakes up the world, and it's like the way that I view it, and I'm sure you have like, more serious experiences, but it's like, man, there's going to be a lot of innocent people that are going to die from this. And I think this is really the first major war, or at least major country attacking another country. Obviously, we know United States was still in Afghanistan and things like that, but while social media was relevant, and it was crazy to see crypto Twitter, which we're all on, shift from like shilling projects and, kind of a bear market and communities arguing to just straight up Russia, Ukraine. And I felt a sense of unity. I felt like the whole entire space kind of came together for a while. And David Gokhshtein was tweeting and kind of leading it. But I mean, what are your thoughts with what happened with Russia invading Ukraine last night?
Yeah. So fun fact, I'm actually supposed to be deployed in Poland right now.
Wow.
Right on it. I was supposed to get deployed, but what happened is I tore my ACL and my meniscus. So I'm pretty much medically undeployable. I'm getting surgery in 2 weeks. So that's the reason why I'm not in Poland as we speak, which is kind of a weird kind of turn of events, because, the YouTube thing started taking off. So it kind of worked out for me in my favor. And usually when we think of Poland, we think of like a vacation kind of deployment. It's not the Middle East. But in light of everything that's happening, obviously there's some tensions that are rising over there. Now, Russia has been wanting to take back parts of Ukraine for a while because they believe it's part of Russia, right? And so there's a lot of things going on there. And Russia feels threatened by the fact that, a lot of the world wants Ukraine to become part of NATO, which would put a NATO country in Russia's border. Yeah. So that's why they're invading and taking back Ukraine. Fortunately, they're not part of NATO, and it doesn't look like anything's going to escalate as long as they don't attack another nation surrounding Ukraine. So hopefully there's no World War III, but unfortunately there's going to be a lot of innocent lives, casualties lost. A lot of people are going to die, Russian and Ukraine. And it's just terrible, but it's good to see the community come together over this. And I hope that it stays what it is right now, right? I hope it doesn't escalate any further, because Putin's not playing. Looks like, Joe Biden's not playing. And we don't need a World War III right now. You know what I mean? I feel like that's obviously that's not a place we need to go, because if it's a trickle effect, right? If we get involved, other countries get involved, other people on Russia's side get involved, and it's like just a perfect storm. So
yeah, I feel like it's almost leading that way, and it happened quickly, man. I know like there was tensions for a while, but I think like once you first see those strikes, and I'm sure everybody saw it on Twitter, the videos of the they had the military defense kind of shooting it down, but it got serious. I saw a report that 40 plus people died. I want to take it to crypto, since we're both, crypto YouTubers and we're talking about the crypto space. Obviously, whenever a war begins and a president declares war on another country, you're going to see effects on the global market, and it affects people. Like I said, it affected me. I don't know if it affected you. Did you have what was your first reaction, your first feeling when you found out that Russia was declaring war on Ukraine?
Honestly, I got to be completely 100 with you guys. And I was expressing this on my stream last night, feeling of guilt, mostly on my part, because I know where I'm supposed to be in the country, in the world right now. But also kind of, it makes you understand that, outside of your world, we live in the best, people don't realize it, but the luxuries we have right now, right in this part of the world, and any timeline ever existed, we have it so good. We have running water, we have sanitation, and to me it just made me really realize, oh shit, this, if a World War III pops off, this is bigger than us. All great things come to an end eventually, and we've been so fat and happy for years and years and years that something really big, like a catastrophe, could happen. So it was surreal to me. I'm like, oh, this could be bad. Yeah.
It could be very, very bad. And it is for people there. And for those that don't know, I think Rodney and I we're both in California. And I know there's people tuning in from all over right now. But I think it was. And obviously the global crypto market, it took a toll last night. Dude, it was dumping. I was watching the chart from 2,800, 27, 20, for Ethereum, 2,800, 27, 26, down to 2,300. I was like, dude, all right, I think good time to quit my job about a week ago, eh? quit my job. But
Yeah.
obviously it rebounded. I think the war, like that was a natural reaction. That was kind of an expected reaction for what happens when a country like Russia size declares war. We're seeing it rebound a little bit. I mean, Bitcoin back up to 38,000. Ethereum 2,600, Cardano still 86 cents, Solana 90. So we're seeing, it hold these numbers that it was at to weeks prior, and still looking pretty bullish in the long term. But I have to ask, man, and this is my personal thoughts. I'll say my thoughts first and ask you. But personally, I believe even a war like Russia to Ukraine won't have that much impact on the crypto market. I mean, I still feel like crypto is an inevitable regardless of what happens, right? Now, if there's major world wars, I guess that's something that we'll talk about. But, an invasion of Ukraine, I feel like doesn't have as big as an impact as we thought it would last night. Let me take that to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so there's not going to be much of a war. Russia's going to thump Ukraine. I mean, honestly, they're just too powerful.
Yeah.
They're the second most powerful military in the world behid us.
Are they second?
Yeah, it's between them and China. It's close, but they have a better navy. And better air superiority, right? China could go 15-1 with us on the battlefield with soldiers, but it's all about technology now. It's like it's not even the guy who's the most fit; it's the guy who can shoot the best, really, right? But yeah, I think that this is not really going to have the biggest effect on the cryptocurrency market as long as it stays right there, right? Because honestly, this has been a long time coming. Since 2014, they've been wanting to get in there and take part of what they think is theirs for quite a while. I think that cryptocurrency is safe. A lot of people think that's going to be the end of cryptocurrency, whatnot. I don't think we're going anywhere. I'm still bullish on cryptocurrency. In fact, this is exactly why you keep USDT on the side, baby, to buy the red days, because when things go crazy, that's when you make the most money.
It is. Every time that I buy, it's when I do not want to buy. It's literally when my gut is like, all right, shit's happening. But I actually didn't buy anything today because I was holding off, and I made a video about it. I was like, I'm holding off just to see what happens with Russia and Ukraine and Joe Biden's address. But for the most part, yes, when the market does dip, every time that I purchase cryptocurrency, I don't want to do it. And every time I sell, it's when I look around and everybody's saying, this is going to the moon. This is going to the moon. We're not ever stopping. Like, come on, 100x from here. And I'm like, all right, these guys are crazy. I'm just going to take a little bit of profit out there. That's something that not enough people talk about. I know you talk about it. Awesome Austin was in the stream the other night. He was talking about it, but your pop talks about it quite a bit. He's always talked about it. Taking profits. Like, I feel like people get stuck in this. And I think diamond handing is important for these major projects. Like my Bitcoin that I have, I'm probably not going to sell for a while. My Solana, Ethereum, I've taken profits on. My Cardano, like I'm stacking these top projects. But for these smaller altcoins, if you put in an Ethereum and it turns into, you put in $1,000 and it turns into 10K, like my strategy is always take out my initial and then some and let the rest ride. But I feel like a lot of people in this altcoin space, and correct me if I'm wrong, they get stuck in that hold forever mentality. But what we're seeing with a lot of these altcoins, like I can pull up pretty much every single chart. We see an incredible rise up, and they're all pretty much down. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you preach on your channel, is the importance of taking profits as you go?
Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately, and this might sound a little like dismissive, but I think that a lot of people that come into crypto who are new to crypto, they have the Shiba Inu virus, right? The Shiba Inu dream. We saw so many people become stupid rich off of a $500 investment or $1,000 investment. And we want that same thing. Unfortunately, that's the exception and not the rule, because most times that's not what happens. I mean, we've seen it recently, like Clifford Inu, right? At Yon World put 10K into Clifford Inu, made 300K or something crazy like that. Exactly. It's crazy. It's insane. Yeah. It could happen, but it's not likely. So if you put in $1,000 and you're up 10 grand, take your profit. Look at financial advice. That's never going to work in court, by the way. Not financial advice. I'm telling you, right? Not financial advice, but just take the profits, take the emotion out of it, and put it into other products. I know that the community, the Telegram you're in, the Reddit group you're in is saying you're a paper-handed futter if you don't hold on. But just be smart. Be smart, because the best investors do that. You can diamond hand something that's proven, but something that's speculative, that has a play-to-earn game coming out. There are Launchpad, Metaverse. Yeah, you see buzzwords like that. We're going to help children and save veterans. It's like that. We can all agree that's great. Yeah, but just take your profits, diversify, become a powerhouse. Yes, I always preach that.
Agreed. I love that. And here's the thing though, like investing in this space, the DeFi space in 2022, you have the opportunity to invest in a lottery ticket. I've hit a few. Saitama was one of them. I invested in Saitama very early. I invested in SHIB back in April of 2021 when it was, I think it was like holder number 23,000, right? So I got lucky twice. I've also got burned about 10 times as many times, like where I put in a lot of money and it's turned to zero, right? So the opportunity's there, I think. And what I'm realizing here, and you can look at other charts, it's like you do have to get in early. Like you do have to get in early. Don't chase, like, especially with these tokens that are up, like, and that's why I feel bad. Like people that are chasing, tokens are already at all-time highs and they're putting money in. It's like, yeah, you want to put money in, but ultimately, because you don't want to miss out on it going higher, but ultimately, like the best time to get in is to get in early. And I don't want to discourage anybody out there, because it's possible. Like, investing in cryptocurrencies early and finding the right tokens can change your life. There was times on the stream back in like October, early November, when I was asking people in the chat, and I'm sure a lot of people in here, I'm like, how much did you invest in Saitama and what's it worth now? And it was, dude, if you were in those streams, it was like, I put in 3K, it's worth 300,000. I put in $200, it's worth 50K. Like I put in 60,000, it's worth 10 million. Like it was insane. So a lot of people got lucky. Obviously, read the room. I understand where Saitama is now. And I know a lot of people invested, like we're talking about, on the way up or even on the way down. And it's come down to earth a little bit. But I think that's something that is important to know. Now, I know you were covering the Lilly Finance launch. I was going to invest in Lilly until they did until they broke the partnership with Saitama, and not because I'm so bullish on Saitama, but I know how strong the Saitama community was, and I was like, look, if you break ties like that, like there's going to be a lot of people in there that aren't happy with your project. And I was like, I value my money. I want to make smart investments. I hope Lilly does well. But you were covering that launch pretty religiously. Walk us through that, man. Like first off, you were one of the first ones to like call Lilly a fraud. You were talking about people on the team. You were talking about the CEO and his cases. But where are you at right now with Lilly? I know it had a pretty shitty launch, if we say. It wasn't fair at all. And it had like a 90% day yesterday, but you look at the day and it's like, you look like, here's the all-time high, here's your 90% day. It's like, it's nothing. But where are you at with Lilly? Is this a project that you think has potential, or are you still writing it off?
Okay, so I made a pretty funny video yesterday about that, but here's the thing with Lilly Finance, and I understand why a project would say, you know what, we've been waiting for Saitama, we want to go to Uniswap because we need to launch. There's people in that project, they want that sweet, sweet money. Do you know how big that marketing wallet, 15% marketing wallet, Crazy. They want their payday, right? They're going to make money regardless if this is a pump and up. They're going to make money, the team, right? So I understand why they would want to just say, you know what, forget Saitama, we're going to go to Uniswap. It's scummy because no one would know about Lilly Finance if it wasn't for Saitama. Let's keep it 100. Saitama is the reason why, Lilly Finance has any holders and followers, in my opinion. It would have been way less, dramatic of a story if it wasn't for Saitama. And the fact that they kind of turned their back on him last minute is scummy. I get why they did it, but very scummy. Now, the project itself, very incoherent. They want to be a jack of all trades, master of none. They want to revolutionize the healthcare industry by introducing blockchain technology in parts of the healthcare industry, to me, that are not going to benefit from blockchain technology. They want to be a place where you can find the best hospital near you. They want to be able to do medical billing. They want to be an insurance. They want to be so many things. To me, it's not a serious product. I think it's a money grab. I think that the CEO is trying to make a fat payday. Now, of course, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I mean, that's the way I see it. Now, it did pump 700% the next day. And a lot of people are saying, oh, bro, but I've been saying it's a pump and up. Guys, people make money on pump and ups. That happens, right? It's just, and I know that cryptocurrencies, they go up and they go down. They go up, but good products go up gradually over time, right? It's an increase. It's an incline, right? We're always going to pump and dump. But to me, this is not a serious product. I think it's a money grab. And I stick by that. So if you made money, congratulations. But most people did not.
Exactly. And I feel for those people. That's why, like, I never fight any projects. Like I kind of just, I'll report on stuff, but it's like, look, Lilly, like, I hope it does well, because I know a lot of people in the stream right here, and I'm sure people can say it in the chat, a lot of people invested in this project, right? So I hope it does well. Obviously, it was a pretty poor launch. There was a lot of red flags, questions. People left the team. They did get a dope race car, though, out of it. So I think at the end of the
not all is lost.
Not all is lost. They got a dope race car, and they did it. Look, with this 1 week anniversary, they're on CoinMarketCap, they're on Dex Tools. They have 8,000 holders. Alpha Prime partnership, first NASCAR race for charity, Northwell charity partnership. They're doing stuff for kids. It's going to be interesting to see. But as I mentioned, it's like, I do hope it does I do hope it does well, because I know a lot of people, I know like a lot of community members that I know that put money in. They're like, Jake, I put 5K in, it's worth $200 now. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. That's
well, they have isn't the charity wall at 1%? What's up with that?
yeah, the charity wallet's 1%, the marketing's 15. That's why, dude, there's a lot of red flags. That's why I went on your stream. That was the first time I said it publicly. I was like, I'm not investing in this. I was like, I'm gonna watch this one from the sideline. I was literally posted up on my couch just watching Moonshot and Scott Herman talk about it. I think I was flipping back between you and them, and they were just talking about it. It was like, it was all bad, and I was just like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't invest in it. But like, here's the thing, a lot of people make money. There's so many people. I know people that have been in my communities that have talked to me. They spend the best hours of their day on Dex Tools, refreshing the page, waiting for new tokens to launch, and they put 5 or 10 ETH in. Like, that's what they're doing. And Lilly Finance, it launched about 35 to 40 minutes, or you probably have the exact time, before the contract was available for other people. So, dude, people made a lot of money. I don't know if you were on the stream. I think 2 days ago, I had a stream with Russell and Classy Crypto. Russell came on. He tweeted out randomly. It was like, yo, someone tell Jake to send me a DM. I'll hop on a stream. I was like, for sure. Like, and I saw people in the comments like, yo, Russell wants to come. I'm like, they're messing around. And then he DM'd me. So we brought him on the stream. I got to ask him about the new token 𝗖𝗧 that is coming out. Obviously, Lilly Finance did not have a good launch whatsoever. I mean, it was pretty poor, if we say. I talked to Russell. I said, Russell, how are you going to ensure holders, the people that are in the stream, there was like 1,400 people at that time, how are you going to ensure holders that this is going to be a safe, fair launch? He said, well, first off, it's in our control. Lilly Finance launched on Uniswap. That was their decision. We respected their decision. We're going to be launching on 𝗖𝗧. And one of the reasons that the Uniswap launch went bad was, first off, it wasn't necessarily a fair launch. People were able to use bots. He's like, we've been delayed on 𝗖𝗧 because we've been getting rid of the bots. So he's like, it's going to be a fair launch because we've gotten rid of the bots. So you can't have bots on the 𝗖𝗧 to purchase 𝗖𝗧 when it goes live. And also there's going to be a certain percentage. I believe it's like 5% of the max wallet, or you can only purchase like a 0.5% of the max wallet, or whatever it is. Like, they have like these certain standards set where a certain wallet at a time can only, I think it's a 5% price impact. You can only have a 5% price impact on the token. So you can't purchase 50 ETH, 80 ETH, whatever it is. He said that there's some hesitation there. There's some, ways around it, workarounds, because you can obviously have multiple desktops up, multiple laptops in order to purchase more wallets and have multiple wallets. But they're trying to do their best to safeguard the community for 𝗖𝗧. I want to ask you about 𝗖𝗧. I mean, I think I've heard your opinion on it, and that's fair. Look, I'm open to hearing all opinions, and I'll give mine as well afterwards. But let's talk about 𝗖𝗧. First off, let's talk about the timing. I asked Russell about that. Yeah. It came out the day before Lilly Finance announced that they were splitting ways. But let's talk about 𝗖𝗧. You've been covering the token. You've been talking about it. What are your thoughts on 𝗖𝗧 that's going live on 3/1/2022?
So I think that look, people are going to think I'm hating on Saitama, but the reason why I call it my crypto journey is because we're taking a journey through DeFi and cryptocurrency as a whole, right? And we see what's out there, and we see what currently reigns supreme when it comes to options for swapping and those sorts of things. I think that's important to understand that. It's important to see who our competitors are and know how we can be better, right? Because that's the biggest issue, is coming into a space where people are doing what we want to do, but they're doing it really well. And they have customers, they've been around, and those sorts of things, right? Okay, so 𝗖𝗧 is a 𝗖𝗧 exclusive because it's an incentive to get 𝗖𝗧, right? It's an incentive to use 𝗖𝗧. Now, not to sound harsh, but 𝗖𝗧 is coming out on the 1st, correct? Right?
Yep.
The swap feature right now is not working for me. Not sure if it's working for a lot of people. We need to make sure the app is working great before we can put something that's going to be an exclusive. Because yes, we want it to be a 𝗖𝗧 exclusive, but the fact that it's not on Uniswap right now, it's going to make it harder for everyone to get in unless they have the app. So the volume might not be the same. Now, I know in our world, in our echo chambers, it might be easy to think that a ton of people are just going to buy 𝗖𝗧 and it's going to have the volume we want it to have, but I'm not so sure about that. I think that if you look at this white paper, fortunately, I'm in this space and I partner with a lot of projects. I have the privilege of reading tens of white papers every week, sometimes, close to 100 white papers a week, right? On stream, whatever. This looks like it was put together in 10 minutes. This looked like it's like, hey, bro, I need a white paper. How long you got? 10 minutes? No problem, baby. Look at the front page. There's a spelling error. They still haven't fixed the grammatical. Open that baby up. Look at the housings. You know what I mean? So I think that, first page right there. I mean, unless they fixed it, but I don't think so. Yeah. Affordable housing. Right
Housings. There. Yeah. It's slang,
so
dude. It's 2022, bro.
I know, right? Slang. I don't think it's a real project. I think it's a way to get liquidity into into Saitama. I think it's a way to get some money in the project, which is like, okay, well, here, do your thing. I think they need a 𝗖𝗧 exclusive to make 𝗖𝗧 look more kind of appealing to the average person that may be on the edge about getting it. So that's my opinion. I just don't. It's going to be tough to take the money you get from cryptocurrency and buy real estate. That's not an easy thing to do. I wish we had a real estate expert kind of break this down and give us what the heck is, just really give us the lay of the land here, because to me it just looks like something. It has veterans in it, it has affordable housing, it has all kinds of stuff in it to be like, oh, we're helping people. Like, yeah, duh. But I just don't think it's a serious project, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I've been covering Saitama every day for the past, I think, 5 months. And they have been working on this. They've mentioned, I think probably like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
They're like, we're developing a new token. They're like, we're developing a new token. We'll announce it when the time's ready. And I asked Russ in the stream, I was like, was this a token that you guys were talking about? And he said, yeah. So I understand like the white paper is a little bit off, but they've mentioned like developing a new token outside of Lilly Finance. And I think this was it. It was interesting. Like if they can execute, it's going to be a solid project. And he said, look, right here, the token distribution, 9% of every transaction, 5% of that goes to capital, in which they're going to convert the cryptocurrency into USDC and fiat, and then go out and have a team and buy real world capital. And then they're going to be giving passive income back to holders. Like I said, it's definitely interesting. That's why I wanted to have Russ on. I was like, I've never seen a token take cryptocurrency and convert it into real world assets, like physical assets. They're buying commercial real estate, residential real estate, and multifamily housing. But the main reason I had him on here, I was like, Russell, these are my words. This is not your words. I said, dude, there's going to be so much volume that goes into this token on day one. I truly do believe that. Think about this. There's 300,000 plus people in Saitama. There's probably...
Well, I made a video about the ghost wallet, so if we want to get into that, but
we can get into that because I haven't heard that. I didn't see that video, but for now, there's 300,000 people into Saitama. There's a ton of whales out there. It's like Saitama, and you could probably agree with this. Saitama is definitely a token that's caught a lot of attention, right? Like a lot of people in crypto know about Saitama, and there's a lot of whales that know about Saitama. So it's like a lot of people like to get into launches early. My estimation that there's going to be a ton of traffic and volume that pumps into 𝗖𝗧 Realty because of that, whether or not they believe the project's going to succeed. And I had Russell on 2 nights ago. He's like, yeah, there's probably going to be a surplus of volume, and there's probably going to be a surplus of sales. But he's like, after that happens, it will level out because it's a legit project. I mean, do you disagree? Do you think that there's not going to be a lot of volume on day one or launch day when this thing goes live?
I think that there are a lot of people with big money really waiting on the sidelines to get into Saitama and see what's going on. I just think that there's better options out there in DeFi, but at the same time, Saitama could have its place in the smaller cap community token world where maybe it is a launch pad for tokens, kind of like 𝗖𝗓𝗓, but maybe on their swap. So I definitely think Saitama has an angle, 100%. 100%. And I do think there's a lot of people on the sideline just kind of waiting to be like, okay, if they can get something going, maybe I can put a bunch of money in, because we need that big investor money. Not ghost wallets, I mean dust wallets. So if you look on 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, there's a website, you can see the exact amount of money that are in each and every Saitama wallet. No, people are not going to like this, and I feel so bad saying it.
Oh, go ahead. This channel, like, dude, like I said, I'm open to all opinions. This is my first time hearing it, and it's like, this is your opinion, like these are your facts, and we can go do our own research. But dude, the floor is yours.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you go to 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, it's better than Etherscan when you want to see all of the wallets, right? All the holders and those sorts of things. Guys, only a little more than half of Saitama holders hold more than $100 in Saitama. And you guys know that's not a shot at the little guy, because it's the current price. The price could pump, and that could be a little different, right? That percentage can change. But that goes to show that a lot of the wallets are dead. Right? They're just dust. That means the amount of Saitama left isn't enough to swap. So when we say 330 holders, 1,000 holders, that's a little different, right? Yeah. Exactly. But keep in mind that on Etherscan, the entire liquidity for a swap counts as one holder. So there's different holders and on exchanges already. So like Gate.io has one wallet in Etherscan that has all their liquidity, right? So keep in mind, but if you go on 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗓, you'll see that more than half of the people that hold Saitama have less than $100 in their wallet right now, which isn't enough to even swap at a high volume when it comes to Ethereum gas fees.
So with that being said, do you think because the first thing that popped to my mind was like, look, people were in Saitama very, very early. A lot of people have a lot of wallets, and I've done this with tokens too. It's like you sell, and it's still counted as a wallet, right? So people probably have multiple wallets. Like, I mean, I'm sure you have multiple wallets. I have multiple wallets. A lot of people have multiple wallets. And when you sell, like that still counts as a holder. Now, the second part of that, and I think that's probably for a majority of those, is there any way for a dev team or someone internal to create these wallets and put $100 of Saitama in just to, or have a bots do it? Or do you think it is because people have sold and you're just saying like, hey, yeah, maybe at the all-time high, 330,000 people have bought Saitama, but right now only 150,000 people hold Saitama?
Exactly. And I think that's important. And keep in mind that every cryptocurrency has this same thing. Every cryptocurrency has a certain amount of holders that don't have. I broke it down for Shibnobi, which has about 70%. And I broke it down for Hex, which has a ton of millionaires in that project, by the way, ton. I think they had 3,500 millionaires in Hex. Insane.
Sheesh.
But that's crazy, right?
Should have bought Hex.
That's nutty. God,
I should have bought Hex. God.
I got some. I got some of that in their other projects. So it's not just Saitama. Let me not brag on Saitama, but we use that talking point so much, I think. And it's like, to me, I'm just like, it's kind of capping, but I guess if you consider the people who have it on exchanges, maybe not.
And it's probably SHIB. I mean, like, think about SHIB. There's 1.1. I just made a video. 1.1, like 1,180,000 holders. How many of them sold? Probably around 400,000+, right? But like that's the thing with cryptocurrency. It, like, I think EtherScan and these other companies should calculate and factor in when somebody sells and is out, because they're not still holders, but like they just calculate how many wallets have ever held this token.
No, exactly.
And that's my thing.
And you'll see on 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗚, there's about 30 or 40,000 Saitama wallets, probably more, that have $0 value of Saitama in them. So maybe a couple cents or something like that.
Yeah, and they sold. They probably cashed in and sold, and that's just the thing with EtherScan. It does calculate. But I mean, what should we do? Especially as creators and people in the space. It's like, I mean, what do you like? Do you go to 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗚𝗚? Like, do you like right now? EtherScan is like the gold standard, right? Like people look at EtherScan and say, hey, they have 6,000 holders, they have 10,000 holders. Like, I think you should, if we could. And maybe we start a company and we call it Rodney Jake Inu. We have a token tied to it where we give the.
Would you guys buy? Would you guys buy?
15% dev wallet. But no, we give the accurate. I think that would be good if you give the accurate. Like, it gives you the plus and minuses. Like, hey, total 330,000, active wallets 150,000. I think that would be helpful for the crypto space.
Yeah, most definitely. But I think the end goal is to be like, hey, when someone tells you something, just be like, look at it sideways, be skeptical, and just be like, well, maybe I should take that with a grain of salt and do my own research. The point is to be like, hey, let's have a little brain and stop believing everything everyone tells us and seek the truth. You know what I mean? Do it. Look for yourself. Just stop taking everything at face value. Do your own research is what I mean.
That's why this is good. And I hope everybody is loving the stream tonight. We have 361 people in here. 150 likes. We got to get to 200 likes. But guys, one of the reasons I wanted to do this, like, I consider Rodney a friend, and I think he does have a misrepresentation, I think, because it's like when people talk about him, it's like he FUD Saitama all day. But really, I've watched his content. He doesn't. He makes good content. I think he's going to be very, very successful in the space. And I see you doing good things for projects. Like, you're reviewing projects. You had the Heroes team on last night for an AMA. And I think, like, when I first saw you, like, whether it was on Twitter or wherever I heard about you, I had that soundbite, right? It was just like, Rodney's fudding Saitama. And I did my own research and I watched your content, and it wasn't true. And I hope everyone here, whether you've seen Rodney's content or haven't, can form your own opinion about him. Obviously, you guys know I would never bring on someone that I thought was like disrespectful or a shady person or doing bad things. It's like, he's doing his best. He's making content and he's found his lane. So that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to do this today and introduce you to my community. And I had a chance to go to your community. And I think a lot of those guys probably didn't like me at first, because it's like, I have a similar thing with the Vegas story, right? Like the Vegas thing. It's like people only have like a small, representation of me as a person. So you had me on there and we talked about 20, 30 minutes about the Vegas event. And I had probably 10 or 15 people reach out to me after your stream and said, hey, Jake, I'm sorry I wrote those comments about you. Like, or, hey, I had a different view about you. Like, you're a solid guy. Like, I'm sorry. So I think it's good. Like, the only way to get to know somebody is to have a long form conversation, like really ask questions and get to know them.
Yeah, I mean, people it's like people thought of you for a certain way just because you were kind of turning up at the Vegas event. And we explained the situation on stream because I understood. If you watch the stream live, I'm like defending you. I'm like, dude, it's fucking 26 years old or 24, right? 26,
yeah.
26 years old. He's probably made a bunch of money in Saitama. He's a little drunk. He's having fun. Give the kid. I think that was like I said, that was frustration taken out on you because you streamed it. You know
exactly.
So
yeah, and we haven't talked about that on this channel too much, but it's like, you know, we went into the story in depth, but yeah, man, it's like from my perspective, it's like, you know, I was in Vegas at a open bar nightclub celebrating a token at the time that was up 15,000%, right? Like, and I was having fun, and like the only thing I regret from that night was streaming it, like doing it on camera. Because if I didn't do it on camera, like I would have done the same stuff, had fun, but also it's like I got a lot of heat for like, you know, saying a joke about Austin Hilton, like donate $5 to the stream if you want Austin Hilton to take a shot. One, he was sober. Two, it was an open bar. They weren't accepting money. Three, I don't need $5 for a shot, you know, but it was what it was. But it was a good learning experience. I think that will be good for anybody to get that type of heat. Cause like, dude, I literally woke up the next morning. I had like literally 2,000 mentions in 1 hour. And I was like, what? I was like, what did I do? I was like, dude, I had like one of those hangover nights in Vegas. We were out partying until like 4 a.m. And I pretty much just deleted Twitter and I had my homie check it in. It all passes, but no, I appreciate you. And I watched your stream too. It was funny. You had like, I think you were turning up too. You had the glasses on and the hat on.
Yeah, I was kind of fucked up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
We were having fun. We were, it was
a good time. Yeah.
We were celebrating a little bit. But
yeah, Christine actually used to be a mod for my channel, but she stopped because people were roasting you during my chat. And I don't really ban people unless they like harass me or like it has to be really bad. But Christine is a good lady, and she did leave because the chat was talking about that. But you know, I defended you. I'm like, dude, he's a young guy. He's turning up in Vegas. Who cares?
Yeah,
who cares? You know what I mean?
Do it. Yeah, it wasn't on me, but it's a great learning experience. Sue Gagan is in the house. I don't know if she's talking about Rodney, Mom. He's married. I don't know if she's talking about Ronnie. She said he's so cute. That's my mom right there.
That's your mom. What's up, moms?
That is mom. Shout out to Christine. I want to ask you about you mentioned like banning people. What are your thoughts on that? Because we're starting to see, and I think you've called it out in videos. You've called it like an echo chamber. We're seeing influencers ban a lot of people. We're seeing Lilly Finance ban a lot of people.
They blocked. They blocked me.
They blocked you. They blocked
the
Saitama devs. But like I get like a person. Like if you come at me sideways and say some dumb shit, like I'm like very light on the banning. But if you say something that's just like ridiculous and I accidentally see it, like I'll throw the ban, the block flag up. But it's like, what are your thoughts on that, man? Like, why are people banning people so easily in the crypto space?
I don't know, you know, because it's an echo chamber. And look I tell my mods very specifically, like, don't, unless someone's first of all spamming, because you have people just come spam like some random poopy buddy and you like, buy this now, you know. Does that when you guys are in the chat, when someone spams, are you so compelled to go buy that token? So stop doing that. Why do people do that? Anyways, like one guy was really harassing me, like trying to put my address up there, going at Bree, going to other people's chats. I blocked him a bunch of times. But I don't know if you say anything wrong about a project, people are so quick to ban you, and you see it in all types of streams. But my thing is like, guys, sometimes you need someone to call you out on your BS. Yeah, like that. It's okay to have opposing opinions. And I feel like a lot of people, especially now, we're just so sensitive, and people don't like hearing an opposing opinion. If it's straight out flat disrespect, whatever, you know, whatever. I mean, but still, for me to block someone, even if it's flat out disrespect, it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Yeah, it's like, man, I like if I see something, the one thing that's helped me the most, and I think you're deep in your comments because I see you like responding to people and like giving shit back, but it's like I take the Joe Rogan advice, like, dude, if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. And like I'm sure there's a lot of shit that's said about me that I just don't see that is fine, but it's like, and I'm sure there's a lot of nice stuff, but it's like once I stopped looking at the comments, it helped a lot. And I think like for you, like I'm pretty sure you like it, like you're in there and like you're giving the shit back. Like I've seen some comments where you're just like roasting people back and like having fun with it, but that's one thing that that definitely helps is like just not reading it, because like if you don't see it, dude, it doesn't exist.
That is true. That is true. I do get a lot of constructive criticism in my comments, like, "Hey, your sound sucks," or "Hey, this sucks." So I do like seeing those comments. Unfortunately, I have a bunch of mouth breathers in my comments too. I don't know if they just breathe with the mouth open all the time, you know. But I don't. But I make it a policy. I got time. I always got time. So if you want to come at me sideways, I'm gonna come back at you. And it's entertainment. It's fun. Relax a little bit. But yeah, I talk to my chat a lot, and I have people in there messing with me. But usually people like harass me and then end up hanging out with us. So that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that's good. Can we give a shout out to Project Phoenix? Shout out to Project Phoenix.
Project Phoenix in the house. What's up?
I think this is my real mom. She's like, "Hi, Rodney. He's adorbs." So,
what's up, Mom?
Mom's
actual... Hey, Mom. What's up?
She's back in Tampa. She's my #1 supporter. She's probably watching on the big screen, and she's probably just having fun drinking some wine. So, Mom, thank you for tuning in. To the 324 people in here, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll probably go about 15, 20 minutes more. But what you said earlier, I want to talk to you about, because it's something interesting that's, you know, pretty apparent in the crypto space. But you mentioned like saying not financial advice won't hold up in court. There's this huge thing going on where, like, you know, people are starting to say, hey, you know, we're getting promoted to pay this, to talk about this token. It's been something that's been going on since the beginning of cryptocurrency. It's kind of just now coming into light, but it's also, you know, getting paid for promotions is something that happens in every single industry. Like before 100%. I was in crypto, people would send me shirts, people would send me shoes, people would send me watches. These glasses that I'm wearing right now are from a company that sent to me to do a post on Instagram, tea, stuff like that. So it happens in every industry, right? Like you see celebrities like Odell Beckham wearing the Aura ring. Like, do you think he really loves the Aura ring that much, or did he get a bag for it? But what are your thoughts right now on first off, let's take it to the influencer and the partnership type, and people getting paid for promotions. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, I'm sure you've done promotional videos. I've done promotional videos.
Hell yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that, and where it's going? Because it's been happening forever. I don't know why people are just now starting to talk about it. It's been happening since the beginning of time. And most posts that you see online, from whether it's Twitter or YouTube, probably have some side of promotion tied to it. But let me take it to you. What are your thoughts on the promotional side of crypto?
Yeah, so the issue is not disclosing when it's a paid promotional video. Now, a lot of people think I'm paid to FUD Saitama, which is batshit crazy. I don't know where that rumor started, but I do pay promotional videos if it's like a token review, and you disclose that information. So the only issue is that people are not disclosing it. That now there's a class action lawsuit with Floyd Mayweather and Jake, what's his name? Jake Paul. For SafeMoon. A lot of people are suing them and those sorts of things because they're not mentioning that it's a paid promotion. So as long as you say, hey, you know, it's a paid promotional video, yada, 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 whatever. The people in our space, like Your Pop, Austin, you guys are good at disclosing that information. I haven't watched a lot of your paid promotions, but I know that Your Pop has mentioned it. I know that Austin, maybe Your Pop's the only one I've seen mention it, but I haven't seen your
now. Yeah, we all do now. It's like when I do a paid promotion, I say, hey, full disclaimer, this video is a promotion. I was compensated to make this video.
Perfect.
And I want to be as transparent as possible. And I get into it. But it's like, that's kind of what we say. And I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as you're doing that, it doesn't matter. Guys, you have to understand these promotional videos, these tokens we review, like, that's how we get paid. Like, you know, cryptocurrency is very lucrative right now. And I say no to a ton of projects. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the volume of my promotional videos says, I say no to a ton. And I'm sure you say no to way more than me.
Oh yeah.
So you have to understand that just because we're talking about a token doesn't mean you should go ape your entire life savings in it, because it's personal responsibility sometimes and accountability. Like, we're not telling you to go spend your life savings on this token. I hope you don't people get that vibe from it. And it sucks that, you know, there's people want to sue people just because they lose out on their investment, right? So it's tough, but as long as you disclose it, I think it's fine, and it will be fine and hold up in court. Saying I'm not a financial advisor though will not. I think it's almost pointless to say it, but saying if you're paid if you're paid to promote a video, I think is key.
Yep, absolutely. And Zach Humphreys, people are saying that he does. If you watch his videos, he does disclose it now. It's something that people are leaning to. But like the way I view it, man, like. And I talked about this on a space the other day. It's like, look, I worked incredibly hard for over a year to build up a channel of YouTube and Twitter of over 150,000 crypto investors, right? So when a new token pops up, like this one's here right now, and like 13,000, right? A lot of tokens have like 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers, and they're like, hey, Jake, can we do a video? Of course, I'm going to ask for some form of compensation. But as Rodney said, it's like, dude, I do so much due diligence. Like, I turn down probably 99.5% of projects. Don't respond, like, don't get back. Like, I have a guy that audits contracts to make sure it's legit, to make sure that there's no funny business going on, just to make sure I'm bringing legit projects. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about, because it's like, it's just now starting to come to the framework. Like people are starting to talk about paid promotions, but like this is something that's been happening. And like I think it's important to know that like a lot of the tweets that you see from people that have bigger followings like are most likely paid promotions. But hopefully they're doing their due diligence.
Yeah, it's because crypto's a wild, wild west right now, so we're getting away with a lot. But yeah, I mean, it just takes a little bit of research. There are people on the internet, trust me, there are a ton of other YouTubers that are not in our space specifically who just shill anything and don't disclose anything, and they'll just they'll get a couple $1,000s for a video, and they'll just keep sending it like that. So there are people who do that, but on my side, throw it in the token sniffer, see what the buy and sell tax is, see if the contract is kind of funny, and those sorts of things. See if the liquidity is locked. You have to look at those sorts of things because at the end of the day, we don't know which products are going to be around a year from now. In fact, 99% of the products we talk about will not be around a year from now. They're obvious money grabs, or they're just going to fail. So when you're investing in something, when you're up, take your damn profits. Take your damn
You have
profits.
to, dude. My thing is always like when I invest in these coins, it's take my initial and probably, I mean, depending on what I invest, like another 20-30%. And then my main thing, dude, and I think you tweeted this the other day, but it's like invest in these altcoins and then put them into blue chips. And like, that's been my main thing. I think I'm probably like 85% in the top 10 of cryptocurrency. Like, and then
it is
a small amount in these altcoins. Because it's a gamble. Because like I said, dude, it's like I've been burned so many times. Like, and I'll talk about a project. Like I've talked about a few, and it's went up very quick, and I've left my money in, and it's went down very quick. So I've been burned a few times, but yeah, I think that's the smartest, safest play. It's like you use these smaller tokens to talk about, or you use these smaller tokens to make some money, and then you put them into the bigger tokens out of the top 10 or the top 5, top 10, top 20. Whatever you want to call it. What are like 3 of your most bullish long-term plays? We're talking like 2030, 2040.
Okay, so I like a lot of the alternatives to just blockchain madness. Now, I like Polygon because I think it's only going to it's only become a more powerful layer 2 solution when ETH 2.0 comes out, because it solves a lot of the problems of Ethereum, right? Better gas prices, faster transaction speed. It can handle like thousands of transactions in a second, where Ethereum can only handle like 30 something, right?
Yep.
I like BNB. That's not popular, but I like BNB because I think as it becomes more trusted as a blockchain, first of all, it's the biggest exchange by volume. Nobody even comes close.
Crushing it.
I like
5 times Coinbase.
Insane. So I like BNB because the blockchain is going to become more trusted. Pancake swap is going to be utilized more in every other swap that they use. And I think that it's going to be, the fees are cheaper. I think that I'm bullish on that one. And I'd say there's a ton of people in my third spot, but I really like Decentraland because we've always had metaverses, but we haven't always had metaverse on the blockchain. And what blockchain gives you, because there's metaverse with World of Warcraft, there's metaverse with The Sims, but when you have the metaverse on the blockchain, everything's a DAO, which means it's run by the people, and all your assets in that game are NFTs, which means they exist on the blockchain. And so they've kind of left it there for us to have. So the fact that a project like World of Warcraft that is run by Blizzard can't just scrap and leave, that makes it so your assets are truly safe, right? So I like Decentraland, BNB, and Polygon.
Decentraland, damn. Wow, we're way different, but I like that. Decentraland, I love that. BNB, I love that. Polygon, I like that.
There's a ton, but there's a ton, but
there's a ton.
I
yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. And shout out to Neville. Neville said, my boy Ronnie, what's up, guys? What's up to our guy Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter? Or no? Neville Thomas.
Yeah. I do like Pulse too. I do like Pulse.
Pulse is good. We see them in here. But essentially, I think my top man is going to be Bitcoin because of just
safe.
It's a leader. It's a leader. I actually like I've been more. I'm definitely heavier in ETH. So I started buying more Bitcoin on this dip. I bought my first Bitcoin like a couple weeks ago. I'm probably gonna buy more. Like my goal is to get to like 10 Bitcoins just for life. And I think ETH is my number one, no doubt. ETH is it's the leader. There's competition. I buy all of the competition. I have bags in all of the competition, but I do believe that Ethereum will always be number one in terms of what they're doing, especially when ETH 2.0 comes out. And then number 3, probably Solana. I mean, what Solana is doing is very impressive. Like what they're doing in terms of the same thing that you talked about with Polygon and Matic, like their speed, their security, the number of transactions, the fees, the NFTs that are coming on the blockchain. Like and I think it's very, very early for Solana. It's $86. And I do believe that we'll see over $1,000 Solana in our lifetime. I think we're going to see over a $5 Cardano, over $100 Polkadot. over a $150,000 Bitcoin probably soon, 10K Ethereum. So regardless of what you put money in, I think it's all going to go up. Once we kind of get through this bearish market and the war and whatnot, it's like we were in a bearish market before the war, and the war obviously had a small impact, but we're starting to see it recover a little bit. You probably just saw Alonzo hop into the stream. He texted me this morning. It was like bloodbath, and I was expecting to see like a below 2,000 Ethereum, and here we are today. It's like it's not even looking that bad, man. It's really not.
It's not at all. At all. Wait, which Alonzo?
Did you see the guy that like popped in the stream?
I don't see him. Is it the Alonzo that hangs out on?
No, he's the dude that helps me with my content. He like popped in the stream yard, like, so we didn't put him on.
Oh, no, I didn't see him.
Yeah, he came in for like literally probably 30 seconds. He had his dog on his lap. It was when you were talking, but he popped up. But
no, I didn't see him. Okay.
Yeah, he helps, but he was pretty much like he texted me this morning when I woke up, and it was like bloodbath, and I was expecting to see like a 2K ETH, and it was higher than when I went to bed last night. It was like I was watching it at 2,300 last night, and I woke up today, it was like 24-25. So I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, here it is, 2,300 last night.
It seems like there's always one big event every year that just kind of just shakes people out. And then so that, look, here's the thing. A lot of institutional investors made a ton of fucking money last year. They really got those bonuses. They made their clients a ton of money. They want to do the same thing this year. And I think that even more money is going to come into crypto as soon as we get some sort of regulation, because yes, we understand crypto, but a lot of people don't. And I think that a lot of big money is waiting on the sidelines until there's some sort of regulation, at least for exchanges, right? Bigger exchanges. Yeah. So I think that there's always some sort of manipulation. I'm not saying anything is fake that's going on right now, but there's always some sort of manipulation to make a better entry price for big money. So we just got to think like that.
Yeah, and something that I saw was it was online, obviously, and it was like talking about Russia, and it was like, the US is like cutting Russia off from banks and whatnot. And something that really caught my eye was like, hey, like if Russia decided to go fully decentralized and really go all in a Bitcoin, it's like they don't need the US dollar. And the US dollar would fail. So it's something to keep in mind when you see that. It's like, hey, what if Russia does? Because we saw like 2 weeks ago, Russia, like they were flooding cryptocurrency, it crashed, and then they ended up buying into cryptocurrency or accepting cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of things that are clicking. I'm like, and then they go to war. So I think that's something to keep our eyes on. It's like, what if Russia does? What if Russia's like, hey, we don't need your US dollars. Like we have Bitcoin and we have our dollars. It could be something.
The ruble. That's a funny name for currency.
The ruble. What are your thoughts on Ripple? XRP.
Ripple, XRP. Didn't they have some kind of lawsuit? I don't know too much about it. Aren't they a blockchain as well?
Yeah, they are. They have it's supposed to be like the gold standard of the dollar, like the one cryptocurrency that can be used because it trades around $1, $2. But the SEC had a major lawsuit, which is apparently like a ploy, a scheme to slow them down, probably so they can buy more. But it's a token it's held number 3, number 4, number 5 on coin, in terms of market cap in the world, and it's only banned in the US, so other countries are able to buy it. But yeah, the SEC, that was the one that they decided to go after, Ripple.
That's crazy. I think that at the end of the day, Big Daddy Uncle Sam wants his hand in it, right? That's why we're finally getting with the times. The rest of the world is adopting cryptocurrency. They're getting with the times. We don't want to get left behind. We can't get left behind, right?
No, I mean we have old leadership at the helm, Rodney.
That's right. Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
All, I mean, dude, like imagine being 86 or 88 and like trying to understand cryptocurrency. It's probably like it's good luck, dude.
Sucks. Just like Warren Buffett. What is he investing in? Coca-Cola and freaking Pepsi? It's boring. Sucks. 7 to 12% a year. Boring. Can do that in a week, baby.
We're talking. Dude, we want 1,000% plus, and like they're out there. And that's the goal, is to subscribe to Rodney's channel and my channel to find those gems. But I'm going to open up the floor. Let's answer some questions for the people. We've had 350 plus people the entire time. Let's answer some questions for the people. If you see them, I'll put them on here. But ask any questions, guys. Anything goes in the JG and Rodney show. And this was fun. We might have to start doing this more often, man. I think people enjoy the stream to get at least 2 different alternatives and 2 different opinions, right? Like we're probably bullish on a lot of the same projects, probably have different opinions on a lot of the same projects, but that's good. That's healthy. You need that.
Oh, yeah. I saw a question that says, Rodney, between Russia and Ukraine, who's got the largest miners of Bitcoin? Russia. And then I think Ukraine is somewhere in there, right?
Yeah,
I think Russia for sure.
Russia for sure. I think Kazakhstan has like, I remember doing a video on Kazakhstan. They had like 12%.
Yeah,
12%. Yeah. Let me ask you before we bring on more questions. How was the Heroes AMA? I think a lot of people were like, hey, Jake, do a Heroes AMA. How was it last night?
It was good. A lot of people, so they are kind of learning with everybody else, right? So they ended up renouncing their contract and locking the liquidity too long, which was a mistake. So they've migrated with using 𝗪𝗧. 𝗪𝗧, ton of utility. That project's going to go crazy. I think that's a fantastic project. So much utility. So they migrated using 𝗪𝗧migrate, and now they have a different contract where they're giving you like automatic staking and those sorts of things. So I think it's a very good project. It's a charity token, but I think that you need more utility than just being a charity token. And so they're trying to do that with the staking and NFTs and those sorts of things. So I think it's a pretty decent project. They still have a lot to prove. Very speculative play, but very, very good team, good group of guys, who just want to make an honest living. So yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I tuned in for a little bit. Like they're docs guys. They're trying to do their best. I saw they worked with 𝗪𝗧, which is a token that I'm bullish on. Let's talk about 𝗪𝗧, man. Like they're doing something that is way ahead of their time. Like with their Ever Own, where you can lock your contract and KYC to the 𝗪𝗧 team and migrate your contracts and have swap and staking. Let's talk about 𝗪𝗧 for a second. I mean, this is a project that I think is way ahead of its time. And I'm not paid to talk about this at all. I truly do believe this after sitting through their presentation. I'm not on the team at all, but they are necessary for the DeFi space, and they're going to help a lot of people, help a lot of projects, and help a lot of developers. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on 𝗪𝗧?
Absolutely. I think they're doing the hashtag let us in thing, but I think when it comes to them, they don't have an issue with the whole let us in thing because they're a product with a ton of utility. They fixed their contract where they don't really do the reflection thing anymore. And that's why renouncing your contract is not so important. It can be important, but if the team is doxed, if they're well known, if they have some time in the market, I guess you could say, then having lock liquidity is not a huge deal because you need that liquidity to move sometime, and not having your contract renounced is not a big deal. But I really do like 𝗪𝗧 because they have so much utility. They're going to be on a bunch of major exchanges in a matter of time. It's inevitable.
Absolutely. And Crypto with Mike had a question. What's the next gem? Crypto with Mike, I'll give you a few. Obviously, never financial advice, although Rodney said this will never hold up in court, but I'll give you 3 projects that I think are gonna do very well. Mandox is going to do very well. NFTs, play to earn gaming, strong community, fully docs and transparent dev team that gives back to missions. I think they're going to do well. Apollo Inu, a DAO. The CEO of Apollo Inu is a guy that's exited multiple companies, like a legit ass businessman. Legit. He's sold companies. He's exited companies. Very wealthy. I mean, he's taken Apollo Inu where it needs to go, as well as Volt Inu is a project that I'm bullish on because of the community, because of the dev team, the play to earn game, and a lot of things that they're doing, the NFTs. So those are 3 that I gave you: Volt Inu, Apollo Inu, Mandox. And like I said, I'm not paid to say those. And I know Rodney says not financial advice doesn't hold up in court. Those are 3 projects that I'm bullish on that I think are gems. And I'll take that to you, Rodney. Answer 1, 2, or 3, whatever you feel.
Yeah. How about if your product does well, send me some money. But if you have to go to court, if you want to sue me, just don't sue me. Whatever.
I can do that.
I like I like Terrarium. I think it's a very good project. I think that they have good people that are leading the project. I know the 108 wallets is pretty suspicious, but I do like Terrarium. I think it's going to be pretty big in the future. I could be wrong. Who knows? And we're talking about smaller cap community tokens.
Yeah.
For doing that. I like Olympus DAO. I know a lot of people do not like Olympus DAO, but I like it because DAOs, I think that they're the future of DeFi in a lot of ways. And it's a very, very experimental part of DeFi, but I think that just being part of an organization and really having the shareholders like really control everything, I think is important. And yeah, what you said, a very consistent team that really follows through and their actions match their words. So yeah, that's what I like. Is there?
I like it.
Okay, I see that right there. Is there a way to be legally rugged by a docs team? Yes, there is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've seen it a ton, man. It's like, dude, like look, I'm telling you right now, it's like I've invested in projects, I've watched projects, and it's like a lot of these devs do some shady shit. They do a lot of shady shit. Like I've seen devs that have like, dude, they launch their project and they have 50, 60 wallets, and then they're just selling. Like there's devs that there will people that will show their face and do shady shit behind the scenes. Like, I mean, you've seen it every day. I don't know how they do it. You would imagine. That's why I said, like, doxing, like devs that are doxed doesn't really mean that much to me anymore. Is it important to you? I mean, does it matter to you if a dev is doxed or not?
Well, I mean, it depends, right? It depends how long the product's been around and those sorts of things. I suppose if it's a speculative play, then yes, of course, it does mean a lot to me. But yeah, I mean, people have to understand that, dude. Some people are just bold. They don't care as long as they're okay legally. They don't care how bad they harm a community. They don't care. At the end of the day, people are inherently selfish by nature, and sometimes it's all about looking after numero uno. So if that means rugging your hard-earned money, it's going to happen. But when people's livelihoods are in the line, like when they're super docs, like they have a profession outside of cryptocurrency that could really wreck them forever, well, then I think that and as time goes on, a lot of people are going to be held accountable when it comes to like legal action, like jail time and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. We saw it with the I think it was Bitfinex hack. Like they stole what 4.8 billion, and like they cashed out and like they went to jail. And we're going to start seeing that where you can track it. Terrarium just screams rug. What project with the dev has 108 wallets? Here's the thing though, and I was talking about in the stream. I was like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Apparently, like he mentioned he's not gonna sell for 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, then lock the wallets.
Yeah, 100%.
Lock half of them at least.
Yeah, he's the same guy that out the all-time high in Saitama had $77 million, didn't sell a penny.
I met him in Vegas. I met him in Vegas. I met these guys in Vegas. They're honest people. And they were telling me in Vegas, they're like, hey, Jake, we have a project that's coming out in February. They're like, we're 4 doctors. We have a project that's coming out. So I do believe them. I have a call with them tomorrow. I think they're in different time zones because they're hitting me up when I'm sleeping and I'm hitting them up when they're awake. But if he has 108 wallets, lock that shit then. And like, that's the only way to guarantee that you don't sell it. How about Saitama? What are your thoughts on Saitama? Obviously, it's been down since the Vegas event. A bear market happened, which is understandable. A lot of projects are down. It's not just Saitama. We know that the mask is coming out any day now. A new token. How do you feel about Saitama? Do you think that it can? It can still get momentum here?
Yeah, I think a lot of money is waiting on the sideline. I think it'll be an okay app. I don't think it's going to change anything. I mean, side of college, I just don't see it. But I think that going forward, we should really start under promising and over delivering. I think that's the issue. It's just over promising, right? So I think that's they should stop that. Maybe have less Twitter fingers, be a little more professional, and just get the show on the road. So that's what people are getting impatient.
Yeah, that's how I live my life too. Is like you have to under promise and over deliver. Like it's like that's how you have to live your life. I think they've learned though to give credit where credit's due. It's like and real quick, I want to talk about this as well. The 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 partnership, they did that back in January. They announced it now. If I took pictures with 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, I would have that shit all over Instagram, Twitter. It's like, so they kept that secret. They are learning. Good. But on that note, not a lot of people know about 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧. I know you're a big UFC guy. Like that's a big partnership.
It's huge. It's huge. And look, here's the thing. People didn't like that partnership. I love it because they don't understand the long. If Saitama does well and 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 becomes the champion, which he could very easily, right?
Yeah.
He's a dominant force in that division. I mean, UFC is crazy. Anything can happen. But I see him murdering Bobby Saturday. Destroying him.
Not even close, bro. One round.
Not even close. Could get clipped, but don't see it happen. He's going to snatch that leg up, take him down, beat him up, submit him. In my opinion, that's a fantastic partnership. Unfortunately, UFC is so strict when it comes to sponsorships. They're not going to have him advertise anything in the ring.
No,
but it doesn't matter that if Saitama does well, Islam continues to do well. That could be a big long-term partnership. And that was the one thing I really praised if you watch my video on that, I really praised that from Saitama. I thought it was a very, very good move.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 3.6 million. He literally had 3 million about a week ago. So he's gaining like 100K a day. And he posted it. Did he delete that shit, dude?
It's right there, top left, top left. He has a shirt.
There it is.
Yeah, right there.
But he posted that to his 3 million followers. So I think it is a big play here long term. But obviously, it's like if you're not a UFC fan, you're like
you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you don't understand. We had one more donation come in here, Rodney. I guess this is the intro. How much would you want to have to pay you to shill Saitama? LMAO.
If Saitama does something, dude, when Saitama does good things, I always talk highly of it. If you watch my channel, I do. I just when they start doing dumb stuff, I cover that too. It's entertaining,
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's what I said. It's like, look, when I first saw you, it came up and it was like, this guy's a Saitama Schiller. I was like, all right, let me check it out. I sat through a live stream. I laughed for like 30 minutes. Like I was just watching. I was cracking up. Like you're very talented, dude. You're funny. You have a good community. And then I was like, this guy's not hating Saitama. I think dude, that's what's wrong with society nowadays is like people get this narrative. Like if you don't listen to Joe Rogan, I don't know if you do or if people do in the stream, but it's like,
all the time. Yeah.
And look, do you think he's racist?
Of course not. But if you just listen to one side of the story, you think he's racist, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I actually was I met a girl in LA and she's like, "Oh, you listen to Joe Rogan? Like he's a racist." I'm like, "What? I've been
You
listening for 5 years."
misogynist,
Yeah,
racist,
LA girl,
bigot.
LA girl, you know
Yeah.
how it is. Hopefully she's not watching right
Oh
now.
my
If
god.
so,
Oh god. Yeah,
sorry.
you were in that one.
But essentially it's like she was like that. And I feel like that you kind of got that in your own way. Like as like you just got labeled as a 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 flutter. But the more I watch your content, the more I talk to you, I was like, look, this guy's a good guy. He's making content. He's creating content, and this is what's working. This is what's getting views, and he's having success at it. So that's why I wanted to bring you on the channel tonight, man. Because it's like I think that you're a solid guy. I think you're gonna have a strong future in this. Your content's funny, your content's good, and I think you're gonna help a lot of tokens too, and help a lot of people too make some sound investing advice. So I appreciate you coming on. I know we went a little bit over time, but
cool.
One last message to the community, if you have one.
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, I just made a good partnership with CoinMarketCap. So in the weeks to come, you're going to see me on the CoinMarketCap YouTube page doing some tutorials, like how-to videos. The first one coming out is going to be tailored towards people that are new to DeFi that need to know how to connect MetaMask to the Binance Smart Chain. So a little snippet for you guys. Nice. Surprise!
Hell yeah, bro! That is huge right there. I like that. Yeah. Congratulations on that. And if you haven't yet, go follow Rodney.
Let's go, baby.
On YouTube. Congratulations on 15.7K with more coming soon. My crypto journey on YouTube. Go give them a follow.
Appreciate you guys.
Yep. We'll run that up, but I appreciate you, dude. We'll do this more often. I think the people enjoyed it. I enjoyed going on your stream. I know people enjoyed you coming on 100%. Here tonight. So we'll do it again. We'll keep this more consistent. Obviously, we live close to each other. So we'll grab a beer one day. Yes. Maybe watch a UFC fight. Go to a UFC fight. We'll 100%. Have some fun. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I'll actually be going live again in about 45 minutes with the Mandox team. We're going to be reviewing some NFTs and shit like that, some fun. So come join us back here in an hour. I think some giveaways as well. We got the blue speaker charged up, so don't worry. We're going to be doing some Mandox giveaways in about 45 minutes. But Rodney, my brother, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. And everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like on your way out, and we will see